Kia ora koutou. Welcome to the Concept of Learning Part 3. Use it or lose it and the science of forgetting. In this video, I'm going to talk briefly about the forgetting curve. This model was developed by a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus, who claimed that when we take on new learning, if nothing is done on the days that follow, the learning will then be forgotten. This theory is that on the day after we learn something new, if we haven't revisited the learning in some way, we'll only remember about half of the information. If we still don't do anything about it, review what we've learned in some way, by the third day, we will have only remembered about 20% or a fifth of the learning. And after that 1 week, after learning something new without returning to the learning in some way, all but 10% of the learning will be lost. So if you are attending weekly classes, and many adult language learning classes are held once a week, by the time you go back to the classroom, almost all the things you have learned at your previous class will have been lost. Now that we know what the forgetting curve is, we need to talk about how to beat it and how to stop it from happening. You can see in this image here in the orange the point where you first learn something new. Across the top of the week, there are 3 review points on day 1, day 3, and day 6. So if you think about the 5 PO of learning actions that we talked about in the Learning to Learn Part 2 video, if you are doing one of those things on each of those 3 days, you can see how the forgetting curve is affected. After 1 day, within 24 hours of learning something new, if you record it, repeat it, review it, return to it, or reuse it, you will be way more likely to remember it. Actually, the diagram shows that you'll remember about 80% of what you learned on day 1. The next review point is day 3. Going over the learning again on this day will make it much easier to remember. The last review point on the week is day 6. So reviewing or returning to the learning on this day will also help you retain about 90% of what you learned on the first day. Doing this the week in between classes might take a little bit of effort, but it really does make a difference. Now that you're aware of how the forgetting curve works, perhaps have a better understanding of why if we don't use it, we lose it, we need to start thinking about what we can do to beat the forgetting point and revisit the learning somehow on those review point days. For example, visual learners might like to draw a visual brainstorm about the things they learned. Auditory learners might like to record their learning on their phone using voice or video software and then play it back. Physical learners could listen to a playback of the learning while they're going for a walk, or choose a hands-on activity, a puzzle or a game, to help them remember the things they've learned. Textual learners might take some notes or read through the notes they've already taken, and social learners might prefer to catch up with a friend or a study group to go through the learning together. Whatever you choose to do, or however you choose to access the learning on those days, is up to you, but it will make a difference to your ability to hold on to what you've learned and be ready for the next step. So that's the forgetting curve and the concept of use it or lose it. I hope you found it helpful. Drop me a comment and let me know how you get on. Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Kia ora.